Hey everybody, it's Alex Niffin with Fairfield Beach Realty and Century 21 All Points. It is the start of another month, specifically July, so it's time for the June 2026 Builders Report for Fairfield County. As a reminder, everything you're going to look at are 12-month sums, and Greenwich is excluded from the data because it is a market unto itself. So, with that in mind, let's get to the headline. The headline: sales are flat from a year ago. We're still a healthy market on that end of the spectrum. However, production is down 22% year over year. All right, let's get to the charts and look at the numbers. So what you're looking at here is a chart of what we bring to market. This is the percent makeup of homes based on bedroom size: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 or more beds. Notice how our four-bedroom section of the market, we bring about 40% of our new product is 4 bedrooms, and then call it another 20% for each of 5 and 6. Only thing I want to call out here aside from that is the fact that we have only produced in the last 12 months 9 2 bedrooms. And why is that important? Well, because when we jump over to what we're selling, which should look identical, but does not, you'll see we're still selling right around 40% of our 4 bedrooms. But my goodness, what do we have down here? What we're looking at is the fact that 2 bedroom production is down from where it was over a year ago. We were producing, you see, 23, 27 over 28 over a 12-month period. We're down to producing only 9. Part of the reason, I think, is because a lot of the builders who are building these, which are mostly 55 and older communities, sort of gave up on it here. And it just took a while for the market to get primed. But the market is now primed. Demand is way higher. We're at 26 sales over the last year. So we're eating up a lot of the glut that we produced in 2025. Unfortunately, we're still looking at similar demand as this moving forward. So if you're a builder out there considering what to do next, I highly recommend considering a 55 and older community with 2 bedroom homes. You're not going to have a lot of competition, but boy, is there a lot of demand for it. The only other thing I want to call out here are your 6 beds. We've built 45 over the last 12 months, but we're not selling that many. We've only sold 32. It's starting to get a little over our skis, so maybe pull back a few of your 6 bedroom projects. So here's where we get to the main concern of the month: the supply story. About a year ago, we were looking at 309 bills over the previous 12 months. We're down from there to 227. This is the same chart you were just looking at, but instead of percentages, we're looking at raw numbers. This is not one slow month. We have been pulling back for the last 8 straight months of pipeline decline. That means everything you finish next year competes with fewer neighbors. For buyers agents out there, the new build scarcity premium is not going to go away. So what do I attribute this to? I attribute this to lot acquisition costs. Price of land's going up, and builders are becoming more careful about where they buy. So the next obvious question is, okay, well, production is down. What about sales? Are sales mirroring it? And the answer is no. Sales are staying pretty darn steady. Last August, we were selling 195 new construction homes over the previous 12 months. Here we are, and we're doing the same thing, 195 still. So to repeat, supply is down 22%. Sales are basically flat. Demand is holding while the pipeline constricts. So what you're looking at here are the average size of both the homes in terms of what we're bringing to market and what we're selling. The more vibrant version of each color is the sale. The less vibrant color is the build. They should be almost identical like they are with the 4 bedrooms. You can see 4 bedroom homes have been basically the same size nonstop. We have that recipe down. On some of the others, we make mistakes every once in a while where, for example, a couple of months ago, we were bringing on average much smaller 6 bedroom homes than what the consumer wanted to buy. So we were only selling the largest batch and the rest were lying fallow. Right now, I would caution 5 bedroom homes. We're starting to get a little over our skis here. Consumer preferences are not for that big of a home, but we're starting to average a little over 200 square feet larger than consumer preferences. So maybe consider shrinking your 5 bedrooms just a smidge. Price per square foot, our overall average for the county in new construction is $598, but you can see that larger bedroom homes get a premium. The only one that I find a little fascinating right now is the fact that 4-bedroom homes have remained fairly flat while everything else is appreciated. I anticipate this changing. I anticipate seeing the 4-bedroom home start to appreciate like everybody else's. Looking at new construction sales performance, you can see that about 36% of new construction sales went over asking. That's 70 out of 195. The average sale has been about 98.7% of ask. The 5 bedrooms are actually averaging over ask, 100.5%. Everything else is a bit below. Only other thing worth noting here is the fact that even though we had 195 sales out of the 227 that we brought to market, and again, we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to sell every single home we bring to market. It's still notable that it required 303 listings. So we're still doing a lot of extra effort. List, withdraw, cancel, relist. It's not as bad as it was, but we're still doing a bit of extra effort to get these products sold. And now we get to one of my favorite charts, the construction phase sales performance. This is incredibly fascinating. As you can see historically, homes that were sold as torn down and rebuilt have outperformed the rest of the market and continue to do so today. Why are these so much better? Because these are in proven neighborhoods. Builders tend to do tear down and rebuilds in neighborhoods that have proven market performance. Think Campo Beach area, Fairfield Beach. But for a while, we ran into the issue that there was no inventory being sold in these neighborhoods. And so builders were giving a shot to less established neighborhoods. And unfortunately, we struggle to get those products sold. We have become more disciplined again, and here we are right back to our historical average. Equally fascinating is the fact that all 3 other phases are selling about 55% of the time, meaning that if you do a listing for a to-be built, a mid-construction, or a completed never occupied, you have just over a 50-50 chance of that listing selling in our current market. That means right now, a tear down to rebuild is about 23% more likely to sell than a lot that you go to develop. So while it is true that the teardowns are your highest confidence project, you're also going to pay the highest premium for them. For those of you who are curious, I actually do an analysis of the empty lots for sale in Fairfield County, of which there's almost 100. Most of them do not actually work. If you're curious to know which ones offer financial positive outcomes, follow me. So if you look at it as raw numbers instead of percentages, you'll see that the majority of our new construction is sold as completed, never occupied, because again, we have so little inventory to even consider doing teardowns for. While they are the highest success rate, there's just not a lot of them to do out there. That's part of the reason why you have to analyze this empty land and figure out which ones are actually good buys. So what did we learn this month? Well, we learned that production is down 22%, but demand is steady. That is really important if you're a builder, because that means that if you can get your project done, what you have is a product competing against fewer other products with the same number of buyers. You have a much higher chance of success. I anticipate price appreciation because of it. Price per square foot right now is on average $600, but you know that that's not really that helpful of a stat because it varies by bedroom so significantly. Additionally to that, we have a constraint on the builder side of things. Lot availability and financial viability are the 2 biggest things. That's what I spend most of my week on. So if you want more data on it, give me a call. Let's work together.